Hello, I'm Evan Park, and I'll be reading Saint Moses the Strong from Stories of the Saints, written by Carrie Wallace, illustrated by Nick Thornborough. Moses was born into slavery in Egypt, but when he was a young man, he escaped and became the leader of a band of 70 robbers who roamed up and down the Nile, taking anything they wanted from anyone they could find. That meant the authorities were always chasing them, so Moses was always looking for a place to hide. One day, with Egyptian soldiers hot on his trail, Moses took refuge in a valley full of monks. He only chose the valley because it was a good spot to hide, but even though he was a robber, the monks welcomed him. They gave him a place to sleep and shared their food with him. And they talked with him about Jesus. To his surprise, Moses discovered that he respected the monks and that he wanted to know and serve God like they did. So he decided to become a monk himself. When he joined the monks, he promised to give up his violent ways and live in peace. But it wasn't always easy for him because he had lived as a robber for so long. One day, while he was in his monk's cell, 4 robbers who had snuck into the valley broke in and attacked him. Moses, who had once been the most fearsome robber of them all, beat them and tied them up. In his old days as a robber, he might have done something much worse, but now he believed God didn't want him to hurt the men, even though they were robbers themselves. So he dragged all 4 of them into the church. "What should I do with these men?" he asked his brother monks. But before he could answer, one of the robbers took a close look at Moses. "Aren't you the leader of the 70 robbers?" he asked. "What are you doing here? Why do you seem so different?" When Moses told them his story, and they saw how much he changed, they all gave up their violent lives to follow God as well. Another time, Moses was asked to help judge a monk who had done something wrong. When Moses arrived, he was carrying a bag of sand with a hole in it. With every step he took, sand poured out of the bag, leaving a long trail behind him. "Why are you carrying that bag of sand?" his brother monks asked him. "My sins run out behind me," Moses said. "I do not see them, and today I am coming to judge the errors of another." When they heard this, all the monks forgave the man they were there to judge. One day, a man who had heard of Moses' crimes as a robber and his wisdom as a monk set out to meet Moses. On the way, he ran into a brother monk. "I'm going to meet Father Moses," he told the monk. "What do you want with him?" the monk said. "He is a fool." When the man got to the monk's valley, he described the brother he had met on the way and told the other monks what he had said. "That was Moses you met," the monks told him, laughing. By the time Moses was old, he was in charge of 70 monks, the same number as the 70 robbers he had been in charge of when he was young. One day, word reached the valley that robbers were headed to the monastery. When Moses heard, he told his brothers that they should flee or be killed. "Won't you flee too?" they asked him. Moses refused to leave the valley. 7 of his monks stayed behind with him. When the robbers arrived, they killed everyone they could find, just as Moses had predicted. But Moses, who had struggled so long to give up violence, did no violence to them, because God had made him into a man of peace. Only one monk escaped the robbers. Hiding in a pile of rope, he saw everything they did. And when he looked out on the bodies of his brothers, he saw 7 crowns descend from heaven. one on each of their heads. The end.